Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome content. Hey guys, I finally saw Solo yesterday and this is my official spoiler-free review. So don't worry if you haven't seen it yet, which according to box office rates might be a lot of you. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. There's no spoilers here. Maybe a couple hints, but no spoilers. So anyway, I don't think there's going to be a spoiler review, just because I don't think this movie really needs a spoiler review. You can get through most of the things that made it good and bad without really getting into too much of the details that actually matter to the movie. So anyway, right off the bat, I want to say that the thing that probably impressed me most about this movie was that Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover portrayed Han and Lando, in my opinion, almost perfectly. I'd heard a lot of things about Alden not portraying Han that good, as far as sounding like all of that, but I really didn't get that. I when I was watching the movie, I felt like this really could be young Han. I mean, the way he talked, the way he joked, the way he just even moved and everything, it just felt like he definitely studied how Han is supposed to move and how Han kind of is as a character, not necessarily Harrison Ford. I think that's actually a positive, is that he seemed like he was just trying to be kind of the same thing Harrison Ford based Han off of when he was doing it, and just be that cowboy, cool outlaw type, and Donald Glover, same thing. It felt like he really nailed the part of Lando, the charisma, the charm, everything. He even kind of sounded like Billy D for a couple lines there, and I was just like, wow. As far as the overall plot goes of the movie, I mean, it's kind of generic. It's the Crimson Dawn. Basically, Han joins the Empire, just like, that's not a spoiler because that's been known since A New Hope. After he joins the Empire and stuff, they're indebted to the Crimson Dawn, which actually pretty cool that they're featured in here. And so just they try to pay it back by doing the Kessel Run, which brings me to the other thing I really liked about this movie, is that they answered a lot of questions. Obviously the Kessel Run being the biggest question. They show how it happened, all of that, but they answered not only that, but just a few questions that people had, as far as how did Han and Chewie even meet in the first place, and how exactly did Han get the ship from Lando. We know he won it in a card game, but this kind of goes into a little bit more detail of the specifics of that, and just kind of questions like those, and then even a few questions that we might not have even had, and just references to things we saw in the original trilogy. There were a lot of references between Lando and Han, and how they got certain items, objects, like Han's DL-44, stuff like that. This movie answered a lot of those questions, and I love the symbolism and just the throwbacks to the original trilogy this movie had. It had quite a few, and made jokes of some of them. The film was just a pretty fun ride overall, which is awesome, because when I go to see a Han Solo movie, that's kind of what I expect, is just to have a fun ride. I don't want too much. You think of Han, you're not going to really think of drama or a lot of the other stuff. It's just going to be a fun ride, kind of like watching a Boba Fett movie. You don't really want to see a Boba Fett movie that's filled with slow scenes or anything like that. You kind of just want to go see a Boba Fett movie and have it kind of just be action packed and be kind of a fun ride, and that's kind of what Han Solo was. On the other hand, the downsides of the movie were kind of that it was super fun during the action scenes, but when the scenes were slow and when they were kind of more plot focused, it did kind of drag a little bit with stuff that wasn't as important. So kind of, I guess I would say the film had really high highs and pretty low lows, and that was kind of frustrating to sit through some of the times, especially because there was some attempted humor during some of those scenes, which is good, because that carries some of those scenes along, and they weren't serious enough to where the humor would kill it, but some of the humor during those scenes really just it wasn't enough. It just wasn't that funny. It was kind of just dry humor that was I kind of got that impression. So like it made the slower scenes kind of drag on, especially, you know, between him and certain other characters like Kira. But I mean, that's really my only thing that I can say negatively about this film. I mean, the end did have like a surprise, oh my god factor, and then like as soon as you logically think about it, it didn't make sense really, unless planning for future movies or something. I mean, this is supposed to be a standalone movie, so I don't know, but for those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it was a huge oh my god factor, but definitely, like, if anyone can logically explain it, because I couldn't, it just logically doesn't make sense as to why it would be thrown in there, besides just to make people go, oh my god. So that I would say that was my other negative. Is it's kind of a happy and a negative just because of that. But yeah, like I said, the film just overall fun. Definitely recommend it. I give it a pretty solid, probably 8 out of 10. So it was definitely a lot better than people are making it seem. I had fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it pretty much all the way through, like I said, except for a couple scenes that were just a little bit slow. And definitely for the characters' performances and just learning kind of about Han in this new Disney canon and stuff like that, I would say definitely go see it. So that's my review of Solo: A Star Wars Story, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys have seen it, if you weren't gonna see it, let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.